Hey, welcome back everybody. On today's video, I'm going to talk about building a strong foundation. And what I mean by that is learning your skills, mastering them as you move on. Okay? We're going to begin with this with fire. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about fire. I feel like to master fire, you got to take baby steps. By the end of this, you need to be able to start a fire in the rain, snow, whatever conditions throw at you, you should be able to start a fire. But anybody that's done this for a long period of time, or for, years and years or whatever, will tell you, myself included, that there's going to be times when it just does not happen. Okay, so when we're talking about fire and a good foundation, one way to begin your foundation, if you're new to this, or if you just want to revamp, start a fire. Little mosquitoes, little chiggers eating me up. Might have to find me some wild leeks here in a little bit and end that. But we'll get this fire going, and that'll end that. But what we're going to do, talk about a Bic lighter or a lighter. Doesn't have to be a Bic, just say lighter. To move to another step, what you need to do is be able to start a fire in 10 seconds or less with a Bic lighter or lighter. 10 seconds or less. That's going to help you build your foundation into being able to start fire by spark or ember. Right now, if you're beginning or you're new to this, building your foundations solid is like building a house or anything else. If your foundation is not solid, it's going to crumble on you. Okay, eventually it's going to come down on you. So you need a good foundation. 10 seconds or less with a lighter. Okay, before you move on to something like a ferro rod, flint and steel, something like that. These are sparks. You're not going to catch a log on fire or nothing like that with these. That's where your foundation comes in, your fundamentals of fire starting. When you're using a Bic lighter, there's a big difference between an open flame and a spark. Alright, these are hot sparks that come off of these, but this is a hot flame that come out of these. So if you can't start a fire in 10 seconds or less with one of these, don't even move to this. 10 seconds or less. Repeatedly do that. I would recommend you get at least a dozen or so fires under you with one of these in 10 seconds or less before you move to one of these. Okay, now after you're able to get your fire in 10 seconds or less with your Bic lighter or your lighter, and you get to one of these, this is a whole new ball game. Now you've already got your thought process on how to gather your tinder, what it takes to make a fire with a Bic lighter in a short amount of time. So now you're going to have to up your game, because now you're going to have to figure out what this will start a fire with in a minute or less. There's times that it's just not going to happen. I'm just letting you know that right now. Don't get discouraged. There's a lot of times it's not going to happen. I've been doing this I'm 41 years old, and I've been around this kind of stuff all my entire life. And I'm telling you, there is times where it's just not going to happen. You're not always going to get a fire. But building your foundation strong and solid before you move to the next step is going to help increase your odds of fire. I've started fires in blizzards. I've started fires in rain. I've started fires in about any condition you could possibly throw at me. I have successfully started fires. But there's been times where I couldn't have started a fire if it was a nice sunny day out, just because of the resources that I needed to start that particular fire was not there. Nowadays, I can pretty much start a fire about any time, but there's still times that it's just not going to happen. So now, what I recommend is when you get to one of these, is that you practice getting the spark onto a piece of dryer lint. Okay? Now, learning what all will combust or burn with this is a key element to moving on to your next step, which is like primitive fires, things like that. Okay, so if you can't get this to light this, don't move on. Once you can get this to light this, then you move to your next step, which is actually create the fire. Okay, so I'm going to set this up and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about with the dryer lint thing. You know, many years I've been doing this, sometimes I still like to have dryer lint with me because there's just times where it's hard. But if you got dryer lint with you and you're learning this stuff, or even as a seasoned veteran, I mean, your fundamentals, your rock solid foundation, that's what you have to have. Okay, now I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna get set up for this fire right here. Now, as part of your foundation, you're gonna understand that you need to keep your fire off the ground in wet conditions for sure. Okay, but now you need to learn how to handle your materials to make them take a spark. Different ways you can process them. The dryer lint, just get it fuzzy. Learn how to create the spark to begin with, and then learn how to aim the spark. And then once you figure that out, then you move to your dryer lint. This may sound like gibberish, but I get a lot of people that honestly have trouble starting a fire with a lighter, or I've seen people that couldn't start a fire with a torch because the foundation's not strong. Okay, so you're learning your foundation, but then once you've learned your spark, you just learn how to get it to your ignition source. So in this case, my dryer lint's going to be my ignition source, and my ferro rod's going to be my igniter. So what I would do is I'd put this close to that. There we go. And then I've learned that you need something to add fuel to the fire. Nice dry stuff. But building a solid foundation requires a lot of time. If you're a beginner, don't think that you're just going to pick one of these up because you've seen somebody do this and that you're going to go out and start a fire with that. You have to have the foundations and the right skills to be able to start that fire. So 10 seconds or less with the lighter before you move to that. Okay, now with all that being said, you can see you got the fire going here. Alright, now with all that being said, there's a young man I watch, and I follow him, and he follows me. And he's been with me for a while, and I was actually one of his biggest supporters in the beginning when he first started out here in his channel. And the young man has gained a serious rock solid foundation, and you can watch it in his videos as he goes that his foundation is good because he's moving on, and he's moving on fast. And when he's moving on, you can see that the work that's going into what he's doing. So he's thinking about it, and he's actually he's got a good foundation, and he's actually coming a long ways. And he's got a good channel. There's a lot of you that would enjoy his channel, and it's kind of a VR for him because he's doing a 500 subscriber push right now. And it's Haggard Outdoors, Haggard Outdoors. Go check this guy out, man. He's doing a primitive thing right now, a primitive series, and he's going out first time this year, and he's going to go on a primitive deer hunt and try to get some deer primitively. And he's all his tools, all his equipment, everything he's taking is primitive. But like I said, he's gained a good foundation, and you can tell it. I like watching him because I like watching people do things as they go and learn different things, and you can tell that they're mastering their skills as they go. And having a good foundation is key to this. And but go check out my buddy over there at Haggard Outdoors, and tell him I sent you, and he'll welcome you with open arms. He's a good young man, got a good channel, putting his life in the right direction, and I think you'll enjoy him. But you know, if it's a kind of lengthy video, I'm sorry, but the strong foundation, that's the most important thing. And it doesn't matter if you're doing water, if you're doing shelter, if you're doing fire, it does not matter. A strong, rock solid foundation is key, and it's a must. If you're in a survival situation, a rock solid foundation, you know your abilities, you know what you're capable of. If you're in a survival scenario, having a rock solid foundation is going to put your mind at ease, because you know that you can start a fire. Like, I personally know I can start a fire with 2 stones. I personally know that I can build a shelter. I know these things, and it would put me at peace, knowing that I'm not going to be in dire straits wandering around dying because I can't get nothing done. So build your foundation in case you ever have to use it, or it all around. If you're just into this thing, if you're into the bushcrafting and camping and stuff like that, build your foundation strong, because the stronger your foundation, the better your craftsmanship, the better everything's going to be for you. The stronger your shelter, everything's going to work together. From the foundation, your house is built up. From your foundation, your skills are built up. Keep that in mind. Practice rock solid foundation. If you like our videos, like, share, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Facebook, Mickey Wilson Bushcraft and Survival. And until the next one, that's it for this one. Oh, and P.S., go see my buddy over at Haggard. You'll like him. Thanks for watching.